Here we go. Hi, folks. you, you're watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California, and that blue boy out there is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
I'm making fun of Matt. Before we came on camera, he has one of his. How many cameras? How many? You
I
got
have
what?
five monitors. I only have a couple. I have two
Five
cameras.
monitors. So one of his monitors was turning his. He looked like Papa Smurf. He was all blue, and I said, "Well, can you find a green one so it looks like we're doing this in night vision?" But he can't. So anyway, tonight Matt and I, or today, depending on where you're looking at, we're going to continue with the Bruxo line of mezcals, and today, we have Bruxo number 4. What's behind Bruxo number 4, you ask? It's a ensemble. It's Espadin, Barril, and Cuishe, and that sounds delicious, man.
It does, sure does.
Every one of these has been a winner since we started, and really surprising. These are coming in at 46 ABV. I believe they're all the same ABV. Yeah. I just broke my wax seal on this one, and I'm ready to dive in if you are, because there we go.
Just dropped a whole bunch of wax on my desk as I turned it upside down.
Oh, bubbles! God, I love this has been an exquisite line so far, from number 1, number 2, number 3. Now we're going number 4. I don't even know what that is. But I'm going to use my Stasso Jarrito that I normally use for mezcal. And I'm going to pour some here.
Oh, wow, I can smell that already.
I haven't yet, but oh my. Hello.
Just plant coming right off the bottle as soon as I take the cork.
Yeah. And you can tell, you can see by what Matt's sample, you really, when it's so well made, you really don't need a whole lot of a sample. Not like in the old days when we were using Riedels. Sometimes you needed a little extra more. In fact, some of the Riedels actually had a line that was a kind of a recommended pour, and definitely more than what you really need with a Jarrito. But yeah, as almost all of these, except for number 2, they've been just perfect in color. I don't even know.
Yeah. And number 2 is different because it's a pechuga, possibly.
Yeah, it's a pechuga. We'll get to number 2, and it's kind of a strange pechuga, but beautiful legs and tears. Wow.
Looks great. I don't know if you can see them on there, but
yeah, it's gorgeous, and it's thick. It looks like it's going to have really good mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's clinging on there good. I'm excited.
Oh, there they go. Yeah, it's a nice string of pearls, and then the legs and tears are starting to stream a little bit. It's visually beautiful. It's just a beautiful juice. But let's see what it smells like. Oh my. Like we said, this is an ensemble.
It's three types of agave in here.
Wow. So right. I get some brightness from the Espadin.
Yeah.
It seems to be the primary color or the primary aroma.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's only 10% Espadin according to their spec sheet here.
Really?
Yeah.
So why is it so bright? Because
I don't know.
We had Espadins that I think Maximo was one that we had earlier in 2021, and it was very bright. Of course, it was only Espadin, but it reminded me of this. So,
yeah. I pick up a lot of plant, a little bit of ethanol, but not a ton.
No.
I'm almost getting some citrusy notes too. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I say bright, it does. It reminds me of the lime. It's almost leaning toward grapefruit. I mean, it's a bit heavier on the citrus. Wow, this just keeps opening. I mean, we just broke the wax seal, and with a wax seal, you have very little, if any, dissipation like you would with a cork, or if it was shrink wrapped, in the cork. And these have traveled. They were delivered to both Matt and myself. So it reminds me too. Here's the funny thing. It reminds me. Remember, you and I had a Bacanora, the Vinateros, that it was something like this. It wasn't as bright, but it was kind of like they're in between.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like the more it opens up, the more it evolves. First, you get earth and plant, and some ethanol. It changes.
Yeah, the plant is now diminished. That Espadin aroma. There's plant in there, but you can tell it's not the same plant.
Does it tell you on the website? I have the website up. I just haven't looked at it. Does it tell you what the percentages are, more or less? Because it does. On the website, they've been very upfront. They'll tell you what the percentages are, and that they're not. Some of them are not less than 50%. But what does it say on the website?
Yeah, we got 60% Cuishe, 30% Barril, 10% Espadin.
Okay, so I wonder if it's the Cuishe or the combination of Cuishe and Barril that's making it even brighter.
Yeah, and cooked with mesquite, so that adds a little bit to it as well. Okay. I don't get a lot of smoke on the aroma though.
Sometimes I'll get smoke like down right in the center. But there's virtually none. It just keeps evolving. I'm ready to jump in. That's if you
good. Yeah. Oh wow, that's nice. Yeah, so you get that vegetation, but it's not Espadin at all. It's reserved. That's the adjective.
Yeah, it's almost the Espadin is like an afterthought.
Yeah, there's plant. There's so much plant, but it's very different. It's deeper. I get grapefruit. I get black pepper.
Yeah, that was just the first pass, but yeah, there was. The Cuishes tend to give that woodsy, papery thickness to it that I enjoy. I love that. I mean, it's actually much more savory than I thought it would be. Given the aroma, given the nose, I thought it would be a little bit brighter, but it's deep and it's dense and it's complex. Wow, and they're not clashing.
No, everything complements and it builds. I'm getting a little bit of black pepper sparkles at the end here on the second sip. The sort of dancing on the front end of my tongue.
The retronasal is beautiful. I gotta say. I get earth, wet cement, lots of plant. Does it say on the information? And I know you have the website up. See, he's got 5 screens. I gotta go 5 tabs.
If it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm just looking at the other screen.
He's lost. He's going, where am I? Does it say what the process is? Are they still using the pine wood vats to ferment? Because this is an artisanal version of mezcal.
Yeah, so we're conical oven, Tahona wheel, copper still. All that's been pretty standard across all the varieties that we've had so far. 2 distillations, fermentation in cypress.
Cypress, okay.
Pine and oak used for the smoking.
But I still don't get any smoke. Do you?
None at all.
And I think I forget which one it was that we had. Maybe it was the first Espadin that we had some pine. It was, and so that gave us a little bit of the mintiness. That was like kind of like on the back end and the tail end. It gave us a little bit minty. We thought was minty, pine, mint. It loses or gains something in the translation. Wow, this is really something. This is unlike any ensemble I've had.
No, me too. Yeah.
And we've had a couple. We've had some really memorable ones. Maybe not always with Matt, but sometimes some of the other TJs. And some are a bit louder than others, but this one really works well as a group.
Hmm.
Um,
Very small production too on the website here. 500 to 750 liters per month is all they're putting out.
you notice that a lot of so as we and I've read the website since, and it seems that the higher the number we go on this Brujo, the lower the liters per year that it's produced, the smaller the batches. And that makes sense because the first one they lead off with an Espadin, and then they go from there, and if you wild harvest the majority of your plants, you're not going to make a whole lot. You're going to take your time. It's going to take you a day to get everything, maybe.
Yeah,
Then
one of the other
prep it, and
one of the other expressions we had, that they said they were harvesting only with horses too, where they were getting their pinas, there were no roads. So that's going to slow down production quite substantially. So big difference than it's from farm raised Espadin to harvesting the stuff on the side of a mountain or whatever.
Well, the idea is the higher the altitude and the tougher the terrain, the more stressed the plant is, the less rainfall that it gets, and then so naturally the older they are because they're harder to get to, and the more flavorful they are when you finally get to them, harvest them, and cook them, and you can really, wow, this is just, and it's Cuishe and Barril, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. What else do we say about Brujo? And this is the each of their expressions are numbered. Okay. So Cuishe, Barril, and Espadin ensemble. So yeah, Espadin brings up the rear. It's just interesting that I sensed it more in the nose, and then the other two plants, which are deeper, I think the Cuishe and Barril are probably. Do they give an age on the plants? The estimated age?
Yeah, they do. The Barril is 9 years old. The Espadin is 6 to 7, and the Cuishe is 8 to 9.
So that explains a lot to me, because like 8 or 9, 8 to 10 on both those plants, that's long enough and deep enough to acquire this kind of a character. So it's really just wow. And now I'm getting, okay, now on my palate, it's coating the palate, the plant is, but now I'm beginning to detect just a slight hint of the smoke.
Yep, me too.
Just,
At the very,
just a little bit.
yeah, and you were totally right on the mouthfeel as well. It's got this nice viscosity to it as it moves around your mouth. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, great lip numbness and gum numbness. It's just. Do we have a price point on these guys?
Yes, we do. This one is between $80 and $90. It looks like it's on sale right now at Old Town, so $80 there, but retailed 90.
You know what? 2 glasses of these a night, and you'll sleep like a baby.
Set. Yeah.
I was telling Matt, I think I mentioned this in some of the other reviews that, and with Alex, as a matter of fact, I did some reviews with Alex this weekend, and I noticed, I've always said, usually at mezcals at higher ABVs, and sometimes some tequilas at lower than 80 proof, are more satisfying to me because of the flavor profiles than the regular 80 proof, and it could be the tequila or the mezcal is coming in, as a gateway, so they make it a little bit easier, a little bit more approachable.
Yeah.
But I love these. These every one of these has been. I'm just going to go there right here.
Oh yeah.
This nominee, man. That yeah. It remind me to send you that ice cream stick. Okay.
Yeah. It's on the back of the piece of paper that tells me what orders my screens go in.
Yeah, there we go. So you gotta, why don't you just put one of those on your screens?
Yeah, exactly.
That way
right.
You got what? You don't have cardboard? Jeez. That's lovely, and $80, that's a steal. These are really hard to get, they're small batch, and yet they're only asking $80.
Yeah,
That's robbery, man. You
really
could.
is. Really is. Yeah, and especially to have the opportunity to try this combination of pinas of agaves as well. That's huge.
Yeah.
At this price point.
Well, the most often you're not gonna you depending on who the brand owner is, you may or may not get the percentages of the amount of plant, and the fact that they actually have that information on the website, so you always know what you're getting. And it is small batch, so you're obviously going to wind up getting a little bit differences in every batch. But if you can get some semblance of consistency, then this is the kind of thing that you can look forward to.
Yeah.
I,
Let's give a shout out that this is from Las Salinas, Oaxaca, which is the name of my brother's restaurant.
oh yeah, cool. But I guess you'll be able to find number 4. Where?
Yeah, right.
Wow. And here's the thing. I was saying that I think earlier in our earlier reviews, I said, if you're wondering what the big deal is about mezcal at this point, you're worried about, it's going to be too smoky. Is it going to be too harsh? This, I think, the only other brand that did this in the beginning was Oaxaca. But this is like your box of Crayola crayons, and this is going to give you really good indication of what it is that you're going to gravitate towards, and it allows you to pick and choose which plants you want, which other ensembles or medleys you want to look for, and again, virtually no smoke. I mean, you really have to. I think they're using the smoke so that the plant coats your palate instead of the smoke coating your palate, which can happen also. Great. Number 4. I keep saying every one of these is like my next favorite, but it's spectacular, man. This is a really fine expression of what is possible with an ensemble. Okay, I'm impressed as hell. Excellent choice. Too. Brand of Promise nominee. That's our take on Brujo number 4. Stick with us. We're going to try Chanel number 5. No, we're going to splash some of that on our pulse points. Actually, if you stick with us, we've got the entire line of Brujo. But this one was number 4. If you've had it, tell us what you're doing with it. Are you putting it in a cocktail? Are you just sipping on it, which is what I would do? I mean, I wouldn't. I'm sure you could, but why would you? It's like you've got 3 different plants. It's like a cocktail in a bottle.
Yeah, you don't add anything to it.
Yeah, don't add anything to it. You can drink it. Just drink it out of your tennis shoe. You'll get that extra layer of rubber. If you're missing out on the rubber and the synthetic version. But that's our take on Brujo. Stick with us. We've got number 5 and the X Factor. So that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy there is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like because it does help us on the algorithm. Hey, if you've had it, leave us a comment and subscribe, unless you're adverse to commitment. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.